Should get that didgeridoo going.
Sounds good to me.
Step 6.
Step 6.
Welcome, welcome. Wherever we're reaching you, evening, morning, afternoon. We love you and welcome. We're going to start up by doing a little bit of breath work right now. Just breathing in a big hold, big gasp of fresh air. And then a big release. And breathe as if there's a river flowing between your mind and your heart. And as it flows, it cleanses and clears everything.
And that's how you reconnect. We'll see you later, folks. Have a good day. We love you.
Step 6 done. Hope you got your money's worth. It's free. Perfect, you guys. Okay, so now we've cleared, we've cleansed, and as our special uniqueness with Serenity Project, we want to do something a little special that you might not see on other videos, but it's something that we really believe is really important and makes everything flow and really connect and work the way it was intended to. So, divine spark to divine spark.
Divine spark.
Divine spark.
You know what's best. Yes, please, and thank you. Let's start the show, baby.
It is. Perfect. Alrighty. So we want to thank everyone that's joining us here, joining us live, joining us in the replay. We want you to find a comfy spot, join us, and just bring in the presence, because we just want you to enjoy with us and get into that flow zone and almost just make this like a Saturday morning cartoon, really good, really light, fun vibe, and know that you're going to learn a lot of cool stuff. And so have a pen and paper if you need. We're going to be doing some demonstrations. So if you want to get up and practice with us, we do recommend that. And not only do we recommend that, it's kind of like if you don't want to do it, try it, because you're gonna be surprised as the results after and stuff too. So Jeremy, I think this would be a great time to let everyone know what we've learned so far.
Can't wait. All right, so here we go. Bear with me just for one moment, and I'm going to show you. I'm not just all talk. There we go. Let's see. Yeah. But we're about action. All right. So, So where we started, from the bottom to the top, and if you will remember, we started here in our pose. This was the very first one. We're just all shaky. And this is where we stayed. And we cleared our minds. And we just stood here. And we felt just that, and then, it's too much. That's exactly where the work is done. And then when we were able to clear our minds, then we could come into shoulder width apart. Okay, and then that's where we were able to really do some work. And we were doing the rooting all through the universe, everywhere. And so we started getting strong in our bodies and in our minds. And so we were practicing it, and we were practicing. And then we were going through the energy doors, and we were running through the energy doors. And they look different for everybody, but everybody goes through the energy doors. It is the purification process. And then once you keep running through them, mine personally were like these yellow energy doors, and I was running through them, and it would like laser beam me and cut everything away that's not meant to be here. And I could look at it, and it was just like darkness behind me. And so I just kept running through them. And for weeks and weeks and weeks in my deep underwater meditation, I was doing this. And then after work and everything, I was doing these actual poses to get to that level to where you're actually experiencing some sort of discomfort. Okay? So then once we did all the work and we were going through the energy doors, then we finally moved over into full horse stance, wide horse stance. And then that's where we were able to be light and bright enough, and the slate was clean enough, and our minds were cleared enough to start flying. And we just started flying, and it felt so good, I flew all over the place. But I found out that if you just keep going straight up, you'll just, boom, you'll hit this like heaven's floor, and you'll see a doorknob. And then you'll look up, and then all of a sudden, your higher self picks you up and sets you. And then that's what we've been trying to do with everything, is to help you reconnect to your higher self. That's what all this has been about. And then we even went a couple steps further, and we taught you the supra pose, the pose above all pose, the one reigning to rule them all. And so this is what made you strong enough. And you practice this and practice this and practice this. And this is what cleared your mind and your body so that we can now connect to the spirit without just getting obliterated. And so now here is the new one. This is the next step. If you remember in step 1, we had an exercise and a technique that we removed. It was called making a stand. And we put a stick down and we jumped over all the generational curses. We got rid of all the attachments, all the demonic possessions. It was almost like an exorcism. Okay, so this is the next part of that. So I call this is the meet your maker / meet your match master technique. And it's going to get a little weird. Just bear with me. But this is, we have done the work to connect our body and treated it right with compassion, so it started listening. Then we started controlling our mind and loving with compassion our mind. Now we have put those together and we have gotten that connection. And then that is what's opened us up to the spirit. And now we take the spirit and it comes back down and it fixes and renews the mind and the heart. And then it heals the body. So this is, like I said, what I call, it's time to meet your maker. We've met our higher selves, or we're working on it. And now it's time for us to be completely in alignment. This is where, that was step 5. You see, now we're here. This is the new. Welcome to step 6. And this is going to be brutal, but it's not to hurt yourself, but it's to show that the spirit is now in control. So here we go. I've personally had some issues in this area, you know, just the fears and the stability and just the core. And when I've strengthened those, it's put strains on my hips. And so if you notice, on the left side is the feminine energy. And it's also the past. So if you have any issues on this side, you know what to look for. This is very important. And then on the right side is the masculine and is the future. Okay, and what we're trying to do is balance both of those so that we can enjoy the now. And so that is what the alignment is. Spirit, mind, and body. And this is the master technique. Here we go. This is how we do it. Now, we're going to start in whatever section that you and your part feels like you need the most. So I'm going to focus here and here, okay? I've had a lot of hard past, and I've had a lot of difficult feminine energy, you know, just having to deal with in my life. Okay, so that's me personally. And that's what this is so perfect, is it's the guidelines. It shows you just the framework so that you can put your own personal life in it. Okay, so here we go. Just bear with me and follow along in your way to it, okay? And so what we've done, and if you can feel that, you're just vibrating everywhere. Yeah, it was not to hurt yourself. It was to put yourself in alignment. Now feel that. Until you do this, I'm going to look like a crazy person. I'm going to look like SpongeBob and Patrick. You know, I'm over here stepping it, you know. It's already been brought in, so don't worry. And just superimpose it after it. And now you are completely spirit, mind, and body in that divine connection, in that divine alignment, and you have moved everything in every energetic pattern to perfection. Can you feel that? Whew. You opened up your eye senses, your ear senses, your throat, your root, sacral, solar plexus, hearing, the connection, the third eye, everything, your structure, who you are, your arms, shoulders, back, everything has been in compassion, taken care of, and focused on. So this is now where we're at. So, be with you in just 1 second. Let me set back up. All right. Oh, yeah.
Amazing, brother.
Ooh, how'd that feel, brother?
And like,
I can't even talk.
Another level of like movement of energy that I'm just like blown away by again. Every time it's like I wait until do these two with everyone, with you guys, like, so it's not like me cheating or anything like that. That was the first time I'd ever seen Jeremy do that.
This is new.
This is the first time I've ever seen it, and so I got to do it just like you, just as a pupil, being like, what am I doing? This is different, but I just try it. And then, like, to me, I'm just gonna like, and if so, let's have a little like just a little breakdown of that. To me, it just feels like you're focusing that intention, but with some a little bit of more than just touch. Like it's with some more focused intention, which is kind of like making it a little bit more profound, or at least that's what I was kind of like thinking of, like making sure I hit those points and give it focus and attention. But maybe you can expand on that. Maybe
it's almost like you could relate it to just a high level tapping.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that actually really did help me in life. It really did. You know, I know the techniques. You know, they were great.
EFT or
giving it a physical focus of intention and of love. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, I'm not gonna fight you anymore. It's all of a sudden your lymph nodes are healed, or your back is healed, or you just come to grips with, hey, my sciatica has been killing me. I've never even had it. I just sit a lot and do my work. And then again, like with the past, I've had a lot like issues with feminine energy, parents, you know, the past has not been good to me, but the future and the present has been wonderful. And so I'm dealing, and we're having to kind of boom, 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 into balance.
That's a good point too. Yeah, that
Yeah.
helps me with a little bit too going forward. And obviously, it's a whole new technique, and so I'm just gonna keep learning. But like this
I
is
didn't say master technique for nothing.
yeah, dude, it was cool. And so
Yeah. But
we've got a really good picture of where we've been so far. A couple of us joined up and it would be good if you want to visit the first 5-10 minutes. It's got some good information too for you if you missed out on that. But we're gonna explain where we're going now. We've done with where we've been. Everyone knows where, it's over. It's played out. It's in this habit loop. Like we know where we've been. Now, where are we going, Jeremy?
because once you know where you're going, where you've been becomes very small. Back in the day when I started, it was, oh man, it got so detailed about the child abuse, neglect, you know what I mean? But now where we're at is I've used all that for my victory. I'm no longer a victim. You know, I went and I did the work to reconnect. I did the meditations. I did the time spent. And now I'm in that alignment and that clarity. So now my story's gotten very short. I suffered, I surrendered, and I got grace. And then I had the peace. And then I began to love again. I began to feel again. Then I began to love others again. Then that put me in alignment. And now I have that divine connection and that clarity. So now I can do whatever I want in perfect harmony with the power that creates worlds. I'm starting to use my wings now. I went from caterpillar to butterfly. So this is the butterfly life. This is the difference. It's a huge difference. Just the feeling, just reacting, being in control of yourself, knowing these things that if you're going upstream and you're hurting, you know what to do to stop the momentum in time before you create a catastrophe. Then you become a co-creator instead of an autopilot reactor. So that's where we're going, from fear and suffering to clarity and bliss. We're growing up. We didn't know that we were going to have a cocoon phase and we're going to lose everything and it's going to be dark. We didn't even know that there was something after that and that we were going to get wings and that we were going to stand apart and be sanctified and separated. But then we take that separateness and we show the others, hey, you're going to do this too and everything's going to be okay. And then bada bing, bada boom, clarity and bliss, baby. That's what we're in and that's where we're going. That's what we are. So that's what we be. And then that's how we do. That's what we create. And here we are to save the day.
It's amazing, bro. It's amazing. Yeah, it almost makes you feel that it's like this is very divine. Even anyone that gets to see this appointment, it's like it's so meant to be. You're here for a very special purpose. Right now. At least that's the feeling I'm feeling right now. Esteban, what about you? I thought he was going to chime in there. That's all good, Esteban.
Oh, there he is. What's up, brother? What's up, bro? Hi, everybody. Sorry, I've been on a roll today, baby. I went deep into that meditation, deep into that bathtub, and it's gonna be a big day. So yeah, welcome.
Welcome everyone. Annette too. Thanks a lot for joining us, and everyone else watching in the future. We really appreciate you, and we're gonna have a lot of exciting content. So stick till the end. You won't want to miss any of this. So here we go. You guys all know where we're at, right? 7-step project. Step 6, enlightenment. So this is what you guys can look forward to today. We've already gone through this Meet Your Matchmaker, and that's to do with everything that's going forward with those new alignment practices and getting into those techniques. And we're going to move into the lessons of grace. Jeremy's going to go into depth on that. And then we're going to actually share some testimonials of just some personalized experience of like what our unique experience was. And that might not necessarily be exactly what you're experiencing, but you will go through something similar. And then the action items, write it down. I'm just going to let that sit for a little bit. We'll go into that more later.
Write it down.
Write it down. So it's the third eye chakra, you guys. We're moving this energy up. And we're getting to the top.
Moving on up.
Moving on up. So here, and this is obviously lots of information that you can find online. I like to share information that everyone, this is the whatever, this is the collective, or this is at least everything up until now. This is everyone what we've been explaining it as. And there's a lot of great points in this, you guys, for this step. You know, it's the color indigo, it's light. You know, the origin of the body is the ears, the sinus, lower brain, pineal gland. Like, it all makes sense, right? That's all in those really high vibrating areas. And some more information for you to go through. Like, this isn't necessarily, you don't need to dive into absolutely everything, but hopefully maybe one thing pops out on here and you're like, oh man, that's so cool. And then those are the types of things, if you vibrate towards that.
Application,
yeah.
Resonates.
I don't expect, and even myself, like, this would be nuts to try and go and, like, you know, focus on all these things now for the rest of this month. But I see blueberries. What do you think I'm gonna buy when I go to the store next week? Blueberries, yo, because that's like fun. It seemed easy, and then I'll pick another one. And so it's not supposed to be a huge like thing where it's just picking stuff that you enjoy and then trying that out, and you just add stuff that way. And some more information for you guys. The sound, the seed sound. Not it's up higher. Get her in there, because the third eye, it's not only the seed of wisdom. I gotta move my screen now. You guys can read it, but I can't. Anyways, you guys can read ahead. It's the seed of consciousness. This is where you not only see what is going on, but you also know what it means. This is where your sense of justice and your ethics originate. And I also was reading on another piece too, which was new information to me. It's your left and right hemisphere also balancing. Like, it's the whole body, like, that's what I was kind of visualizing from you too. It's like the left and the right meeting together finally, and actually communicating, and not being like a brother sister, like, you know, relationship when you were kids or something like that. Because, like, they love each other, but they're constantly fighting against each other out of love, so to speak, right? It's that finally that huge big kind of crescendo where it's like, we're family. Oh, okay, we don't have to fight each other no more. This is beautiful. And that's like that huge sense of bliss. That's that huge sense of ease. At least in my personal truth is what I feel. That's what's happening. It's your body finally going, like, singing, yes. Like, this is beautiful. This is what we were waiting for. Thank you so much for searching and finding and working towards this state. And, like, that's where it's amazing. So I wanted to share some affirmations with you guys. We haven't done lots of affirmations, but I feel this is a very integral time where you can take a couple of these and, like, put it on repeat loop, man. Like, a song gets stuck in your head so easily. Why can't you get an affirmation stuck in your head, man? Wouldn't that be an amazing
thing? You think bad things all day. Why can't you think good things all day? You know?
I am just like, I am all day. I am. That's what it is, because you can just launch that into anything after that. But I am in touch with my inner guidance. I listen to my deepest wisdom. I seek to understand and learn from my life experience. I'm wise, intuitive, and connected with my inner guide. I nurture my spirit. I listen to the wisdom of elders. I trust my intuition. And all these other amazing things that you can just start introducing, because this is your nature now. If you've gone through the steps, this will sit well with you. This will be with you. And if it's not yet, just get into that feeling. Do a tub meditation. Get down into it, and then revisit these after. And you'll find that it's energy. It's the more energy you have, the more accepting you will be of these phrases and stuff, I find too. Because personally, for me, when I was looking at affirmations from the start, I think they'd sometimes depress me too, right? Because I wasn't believing in them while I was saying them. And so
it's too far away from how you felt.
Way too far away so that you can instantly feel it. Like, you know, if you finish doing affirmations and you don't feel like elated and like vibrating and like really light and fun, then that's not the affirmation right then. So that's where I was just kind of putting a disclaimer on that, but it's all good. So that's just the really short workshop piece, because we actually want to move into some of the other stuff that we have prepared for you guys today. And this is what it's all about. Me and Jeremy are bringing our flavor, our newness, but we do want to bring that kind of that rock solid foundation of all the work and everyone that's been doing this all up until now. And that's amazing. And it was needed, and that's everything that we have. But we feel that these things, or I feel anyways, it wasn't until I met Jeremy till I started being able to connect a lot of these things together. So this is our take on it. This is more of our side of things. And Jeremy's going to move you through what it means to teach now. You know, like a teacher, we know the definition of teacher, like as like growing up and stuff like that. But as you start to learn to teach, you start to learn so many other aspects and avenues of what that means. And so, Jeremy, I wanted you to elaborate a little bit on that particular topic of teaching.
Well, it's only natural when you're here. And what I mean by that is once you begin to love yourself and you begin to love others and you begin to figure things out, you cannot keep it in. That's why all of this is here, is because of this. I went through this step. The Serenity Project was built through this step. Llama Space Community was built through this step. I love so much. I was like, I was just crying all the time. What do I do with all this? I don't know what to do with all this. I can't wait for you to get there. And so teaching is just the progression. And so what we want to let you know is there are some aspects to teaching. Why are you teaching? What are you teaching? And how are you teaching? If you're using a specific technique and you're implying certain things, then you need to let people know. Here's what I mean by this. I actually learned a good way of this today with my little girl, Jenna Grace. And, you know, her sister's been at the beach, and so it's just been all her. And so we're teaching her a form of independence. Don't be all up on us all the time, you know. Go do you for a little bit, you know, take care of yourself. You know, if you want to come and do what we're doing, then help. But don't be a helpy helperton, but not necessarily stay out of the way, but add value. You know, be a part of it without getting in the way, basically. And so, and then if you can't, then go do your own thing. Go play your own stuff, and then reconvene. Okay, but then I kind of felt bad. You know, I'm not always just, you know, just go on type of thing. So, and I was like, I don't know if she knows all the stuff that I'm trying to teach her and why I'm doing all this stuff to her, you know. And so I sat her down and I was like, Jenna, I want to teach you a certain amount of independence where you can be strong on your own. You can fly your own wings, and you don't need men and money and this and that and the other. You can be happy on your own, self-sufficient. That's my job as a good father. But then I need to teach you a certain level of dependence on Source and on God. Because when you're hand in hand, and then this is what all this is about, is alignment. Can you stay in alignment anyways? Can you stay hand in hand with Source, even in the fire? And so I was telling her, I need you to know a certain amount of dependence so that once you depend on God, you have everything. You don't need anything else, which then that very thing rotates and goes back into independence. You're taken care of because God is your all, and everything becomes a blessing. And so that was what brought all this on, is what is it that I'm teaching? How is it that I'm teaching? And I might need to teach the way that I'm teaching. And she's like, oh, I understand now. So, you know, a little bit of time helps me to grow, but then that also helps me to be reliant on Source so that everything else is taken care of. And I was like, yes, baby, yes, that's exactly correct. And so that is my little segment on teaching and a lesson in grace.
Boom. I love that, brother. That's so amazing. So something that Jeremy was sharing earlier, and I'm going to say it here. What's best for you is what's best for everyone. Can you elaborate just a tiny bit on that, Jeremy?
Well, only hurt people hurt people. I'll throw that opposite to you, which will explain the present. Only hurt people hurt people. I've never once been happy and hurt somebody. But I have been hurt, and I will hurt myself, and I'll hurt others, and I won't give a damn. So that was something that I received that really blessed my heart, because everybody's like so wanting to help others, but then at their expense. And so then all they're doing is throwing their leftovers that didn't work for them trying to solve a problem, and then all they're doing is being helpy helpertons, thinking that they're saving the world, yet being a freaking nuisance, and that hurts everybody's heart. And so if you learn to love yourself, step 4, self-love, then you can actually be of value, and everything else is a bonus, and you're not needing and chasing and in lack mode. Then you can actually be of value to somebody, and actually not even be of value, but just nice and fun to hang around.
Mm.
You know, something that came to me recently is we can either fight or we can play. I choose to play. That's a whole 2 different timelines to life. Are we going to just war ourselves to death? Or are we going to just go hand in hand to the promised land?
I was going to say play ourselves to paradise.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's what we're, that's, do you feel that? Let's just take a second just to feel that there is answers, that there is guidance, that there is a framework, there is something that you can do and be conscious of and actually pay attention to, and it'll actually get you results that you're wanting and desiring and that you've heard of.
Boom.
What we were, you know, I'm old school, yet I'm new school. I was that last generation that just get out of the damn house and don't come back till I call you. You know, and we would wake up and go out into the woods, and then we'd hear that crazy voice, and we'd come back home for dinner.
Yeah.
You know, but then I'm also into all of the new stuff, you know, the new technologies, the just everything that is delicious for today. And then I see the breakdowns of from what they had to work too hard, and then I've seen the, you know, what they've had to do, and then what the middle have to do, and then what the ends have to do. It almost reminds me of back in the day with Moses. I almost wonder if we're a reincarnation and a repeat of that. See, that first generation, the older ones, they were just so complaining once they left Egypt and they were set free as slaves. They weren't slaves anymore, but they were like, "Oh, did you just bring us out here to die in the desert?" You know, and then so they got to the promised land, and it was only supposed to be like an 11-day journey, but they kept going around and around in circles for 40 years. And so that first generation, they were all the hard workers. They just could not believe. And then the second generation, they just kind of like had to, they went into and they were able to see the promised land. And the second generation went in and said, "Hey, I think we can do this." And then there were some that said, there's no way we can do this. And so then they kind of were like around and around and around. And so then the third generation actually did get to go into the promised land. The second generation was able to believe, and the third generation was able to get them there. Okay, so what all that means is for our grandparents and stuff like that, don't let the Great Depression hurt you so much to where all you can do is work and you don't think. And then the second generation, the gaps, us, you know, where we have to be the heavy lifters but the cleanup crew, because we're going to be the ones that say, "Hey, we can go in." And then the third generation, the youngins, you know, our children, there's no way they're going to put up with this crap, and they're definitely going in, and they're going to take the land. But the thing is, the third generation will enter in. Most of the second generation will enter in the promised land. But for those who are not believing and complaining, they won't ever see it. So basically what all that was leading up to is there's the easy way, there's the hard way. There's the 11-day journey, hand in hand, we got this, we were set free for a reason. Or there's the round and round and round and round and round and round we go.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the frustration of the collective consciousness is pick your shit up and let's go. You don't need your EBT. You don't need this, that, and the other. You need to flap your wings, get up here, and let's go.
It's that flip-flop.
So that's what this is all about.
Because I was seeing it even in the line here, you know, sometimes people feel like they know what's best for everyone, right? And that's their duty. Their duty is to share what's best for everyone else all the time. And it just comes with that type of personality. They're still working on a ton of stuff on the outside, like or on the
That
inside.
my way or the highway,
Yeah.
old energy.
So
Yes.
what we're saying is what's best for you is what's best for everyone. Not saying the way that, oh, my opinion is what is right and true and it should be just impressed onto everyone else. No. When you know what's best for you, what's best for you, when you know that and you do that, you show up with your cup filled, and that's what's best.
That's what's best for everyone.
And anytime you think that you're coming in to fight or control or find what's best for someone, just take a second thought and think about, okay, but am I on par yet? Oh, okay, no, I know what I'm supposed to do now. You know, it's just that kind of role reversal like that, where maybe for a long time you were being that person. Wow. Okay.
Well, you see where you're going. What's really a great point is the bad guy is a good guy's duty.
Mm-hmm.
We are all playing roles for everyone so that we can all learn these at the hardest levels so that we can actually learn the lessons so that we can move on. We're just pilgrims through this journey. And if we don't have enough big picture to help us in where we're at in the here and now, we lose our vision. And without a vision, the people perish. So this is the vision step. This is where you have overcame fear. This is where you are controlling your emotions, and you have been practicing through all of these things that we've been teaching. And then you become in love with yourself, and you repeat all of this, and you are now at a level to where you are able to go and do big things. And then when you go and do those big things and repeat those things that you lost, you're able to love yourself and get that self-esteem and that self-respect and that self-honor. Then you're able to help others and love others. That's what brings you into alignment. That's what gives you the clarity. And then that is the very thing that gives you the bliss. And so once you've gone through these 7 steps, that is the body and the mind connecting through the healing. And then it goes and is able to become back into alignment with spirit. And then they're in all 3 in alignment. And then the spirit makes everything right in the mind. And the spirit makes everything right in the body. That's that technique that we were doing at the beginning, is to really reinforce that, to make that stand. Mm-hmm. So now that you are divinely guided, which is what step 6 is, divine guidance and divine connection. This is, once you actually went through them, you actually used this as an everyday tool to create. And what do I mean by that? Is you go through the 7 steps every time something comes up. You want to create something. You want to do something. There's a little bit of fear. But then you get to the point where, like, I don't care. I want to do this because it makes me feel good. And because it makes me feel good, it's going to make other people feel good. And I just want to, it's just something I want to do. And then you get into alignment and you start attracting those people that can help you and help you build it and have the same vision as you. Mm-hmm. And then you have that clarity and that connection. And then it is built. And then you get to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And then that is the bliss. Mm-hmm. So we're not only teaching you just, this is so quantum. This is what I would like to call quantum consciousness. I want you to know the past. I want you to know the present. I want you to know the future. I want you to put them all together and enjoy the now. That's what this is all about.
I think this would be a good time to maybe open up and go for the really big macro explanation of this all in a really big and a really very cool way, and tell the best friend story, Jeremy.
Oh, all right. All right. So today, it was, this is something that I just received. I actually did all the things that I'm teaching and what I've been given. And I went and I did the underwater meditations, and I got so much beautiful information, and this is one of them. This is something that Source came to me and said, I really want people, this isn't the whole truth, but I want people just to know this part of it. I want them to see this picture in their hearts. So just bear with me. I'm going to try to explain it the best I can, and this is what I saw. and I'll call it the best friend. There was God, and in my vision, I saw him, and he was this human form, but everything in the universe was within that. That's how big it was. It was just like a huge step back. And so I saw God, and there was like nothing. And I saw him, and what he was relating to me is, I'm going to create not only a family, but I want to create a friend. Not just a son or a daughter, but an actual personal best friend. And so I want to give you a quick glimpse into the entire universe, our entire past up till now and the future. So what happened is God said, let there be light, and he created all this. Bang, it was there, and it all went out, and it's been like corn, and it's just been growing up.
And I think
one of the first...
Yeah, I think a cool part of that too is like when God is all just this one whole, or like if you want to look at it Big Bang style, you know, before there was light, there was no thing, right? And then there was light. And when you're just light, it's just the one thing. And what this kind of discussion me and Jeremy are having, when you're just one thing, it's kind of lonely, you guys. Like, it's hard to really understand who you even are when you're just one thing, right? Like, there's no other thing to really even base that on, right? And so naturally, I feel like you want to understand more of yourself. And so continue, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because I've heard so many people, and I've even felt it. Like, I'm just at a place where not many people are. Some people are so smart that not anybody can understand them, and they feel lonely. I've really experienced that a lot in my life and in other people's lives. And so that was the vibration of how I felt when I was watching this. And he's like, I just really want somebody who can be up here with me, that can relate to me. And so as everything was growing, one of the first was Lucifer. And Lucifer missed the message, just had a different path, and he wanted to replace God. He wanted to be God. And so then the next set of fruit came through, and it was the Christ. And he was as God. He was just exactly what God was looking for, and they played together. And then what he was showing me is now that we've had both sets of directions that we can choose, who is next? Who is going to be the next best friend? And he intends that for all of us. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. Is I'm doing everything I can, spirit, mind, and body, to be in complete alignment so I can have that divine connection and that divine guidance and that pure relationship with the source of all. And then be as it wants me to be. And that goes back. God knows best. And if we knew better, we would do that. That is alignment. That is when you're not doing it your way and you just let the cork float. That is the flow of the universe. And then that's where dreams and miracles are lived in an everyday life. That's what this is all about once more. That's the big picture, is to reconnect to source, to wipe the tears away from your eyes, and to open to the clarity and the connection. And to finally make that stand that I will no longer be used for evil in any manner whatsoever, ever again, mark this day. And that's very powerful. And that's when you have picked up your cross and you have borne your burdens. But then you notice that the cross is made out of styrofoam, and it was just a test, it was just a lesson, just to see if you would even pick it up. That's how easy all of this truly is. Just like with Abraham and Isaac, go and kill your kid. Oh, God would never ask me to do that. That's crazy. Nevertheless, Lord, not my will, but yours. And he's like, oh, I hope I don't have to do. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was just checking. You see, so many things in our life is just, I just wanted to see if you would say yes. I just wanted to know if you were my best friend.
I always look at it kind of in a way of like, that seems like such a similar thing that you'd do to a child, right? You'd kind of like, you catch him in it, like you look at him and you see him doing something, but then you look away and then you're like, what are you doing? And they're like, how'd you see me? I thought, and like they try and get away with it because like that's just like the nature of it, that they're just trying to be creative, they're trying to do something else. But it's always that kind of that knowing of like, it's not that it was wrong. It's just like I just wanted to make sure that you were like, it's like when the boss isn't there, I want to make sure that you're still doing the work. Right. As soon as I leave, then freaking the earth just goes to crap. No, that's not what it was for. We were supposed to do a good job and take care of each other and love and entertain and enjoy. And for whatever reason, that got misconstrued or misdirected, and maybe it was for this beautiful past so that we could have purpose and passion and all this. Like, I'm not going to try and say it was wrong, but we're here now, and this for me feels like just the ultimate, man. Like, there is really no other product, there is really no other service, there really is no other goal other than maintaining your connection. Because it's not in the doing. I went for doing lots, and this is going to be part of my testimony here, where it's like I was working on myself a little bit, but never really fully committing to it. And that is my way. I'm kind of like I'm a brat like that, and I'll try and figure out a couple different ways before, but then I actually fall back on, oh no, it was that way. And that's my path. But it just makes it that much concrete that it's like, that's the right thing, right? And so it's not that you fall or you trip, but you have to be aware of it. And you don't want to keep tripping and falling for too long, because then you're going to be breaking legs, ending up on the side of the road, it gets dark, right? And it's no one's fault but our own. And I'm just going to lay it down on the paper right now, because that's where I'm going through right now. And it's not to make yourself feel bad, but when you're from a place of empowerment, that's what needs to be said, because you're like, I will not accept no more evil into my life. And that is so. That's everything moving forward. And because it takes a minute to build up that momentum, but this is my gift to you. If you can just find ways to build that momentum and get past that animal body type of thing, I'm like, no, but I'm tired. Oh, but does it actually even work? Like, and it's not true, but it's just easy to go that other vibe for a second. And it's like, blah, blah, blah. Like, just this is my gift to you. If it's something that you've known that is something that was going to do well for you, and you've been not spending time doing it, do it. Just do it right now. That's what I'm saying, because that's exactly what you need. It's exactly what you've been kind of waiting for, and everything you're waiting for is actually on the other side of it. And I say do it now because it's turned into days, sometimes into months. I've felt like some stuff has gone on years, and then that's where I see a lot of like older or third generational people where it's like they just reached a point of growth, and then they got into a habit loop, and then they blame someone else, and then they took the control away, and then their whole life has been on that loop. And it starts off as like, oh, that guy's kind of irritable, or is like, he's not very nice to be around, right? Because he's stuck on that bad day he had with his boss, or what that boss said to him, or whatever. It's like that, oh, that piece of POS, blah, 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 and you hang on to that. But you hang on to that energy. You don't cleanse it. You don't give it light. You don't give it back to source. You hang on to it. And then you might add a few more things in it. And that thought, that energy, literally keeps looping. It keeps building. That builds into a temperament. A temperament builds into a mood. And then a mood builds into a personality. And so for anyone that feels like they're maybe not themselves, or they've maybe built up a temperament, or like, I've always been an angry person, trust me, man, you just need to go back to that point where you stop growing, and then just pick up where you left off. And that's as easy as that. And hopefully that gave you I can't say exactly what it is, but when it happens, know that Brody said to do it, and you go ahead and do it now. And that's where it's at. That's my testimonial, because I feel so happy that I stuck through it and kept going. And now that I have Jeremy, we all have Jeremy and stuff, because for a while it was dark and scary and confusing, and maybe I'm doing the right thing, I think I'm doing it wrong, blah, blah, blah. But you're doing the work. No meditation is bad. No work is bad. When you're in love and when you're doing something that you love, just do it fully. Don't let anyone tell you different. If you're in love and you're doing it fully, as long as you're not hurting people and everyone's enjoying themselves around you, if it's a good time, you're a good time, then it's going to be a good time. So yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's basically explaining contrasts. It's not about the good and the bad. It's about contrasts. If you can grasp just switch that little switcheroo, then it goes from failing and doing bad things to experience, and you just had to go see what was over there. It's not hellfire and brimstone. There's so many things that have been held down by these concepts and these control ideologies. Well, I had that religious. I saw that, that's the devil, that's hell, that's the devil. And then I kind of got that clarity, and I'm like, God isn't like this at all. And I know that might hurt. Oh, God. Just all I'm saying is even the Christ came down to make things right with those who thought they were doing what's right. So let's just, there's a flow, and then there's control. Let's just learn to have that grace and that surrender. Mm-hmm. And then we can have that flow, and we're not trying to impose, but we're just shining. And that plants the seeds, and then they are transformed when it's their time, and then they come back around and they're like, oh, and you're like, I know, and then we all win. Mm. That's this revolution it's wake up, teach, wake up, teach, wake up, teach. We're all there. We're all teachers. We're a planet of masters, and we don't have any more launch buttons because we're not retards. We're not warmongering old seed caveman barbarians anymore. We are of the light and love, and we are in peace. We are peacemakers. Every time you're trying to put your finger on the launch button, I'm trying to give you a hug to wonder why you're trying to hurt people. Why are you hurting so much that you feel that you can just take other people's lives? That's where we get to the nitty-gritty, and it starts here. And it starts here with all of us. So
let's get started. We're going to move into some action items, the homework, yeah. the goods, the stuff that you want here. So I told you in the beginning, write it down. And I told you to kind of just set that, what that maybe thought to you. And Jeremy, elaborate, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty simple in the end, right?
It is. So I suffered. I went to the bathtub. I tried to disappear. And then I began to, the mud began to clear. And then I began to hear. And then when I began to hear, I began to write it down. Because, I mean, and I'm going to go over something in a second. And so here is just something, after a minute, I'm going to read us a little bedtime story. Yeah. And this will kind of wrap up everything. And this was, I want to show you what clarity is like. For real. Like, I went into a bathtub, I dealt with myself, and God talked to me. It's real. Get used to it. You can do it. I'm even teaching you how. We are teaching you how. That's what this is. Okay? So,
do you want to do the bedtime, or I'll step in and just there's a little special gift for the spiritual.
No, I want you to do that. No, I'll do the bedtime story at the end.
Cool.
So basically, I wrote everything down that I heard, that I saw, that I could relate and translate to. And you know what that led to? The Serenity Project.
This moment right here.
The 7 steps. 2-3 years ago, I had this exact moment in that bath time meditation. We are now in the 6th month of this. We have been together for like 20 plus hours. I'm about 15, 16, up there. We have spent an enormous amount of time with you guys, with everybody. And so the big takeaway for this lesson and this step is, once you have the clarity, write it down. It will bloom and blossom into businesses that will save the planet and give better options and better lives and create better people. You can't get any better than that. So, Brody, give us your gift, and then I'm going to give you my little gift. We're just gift givers. We're just going to bless you all to death. Bless the hell all out of you. And so that, yeah, so do that, Brody. I can't wait to see what you.
This is something really special because we wanted to find different ways to create commitment and also reward people, and we don't want it to be phony and just like, we want it to be something that really is meaningful to other people too, so that we're all kind of, it just feels really good. And with the Spiritual Entrepreneur Program is, our vision is to help you unify people, passion, and purpose, like all of us together. And that's going to come along the way of you finding what you're really good at. And once you find out what you're really good at, you're probably going to turn that into a profession. If you stick around with us, you'll most definitely turn that into a profession. And we'll help you along those ways. We're having the Spiritual Entrepreneur Program come out soon. And we've already had one applicant go through it, and she's already going to have her first draft out right away. And so it just shows you that it's tough when you're just your own on by yourself, but together this stuff can be done in weeks. And then something you thought that was like years away, it's happening, and you're living your dream, and it's moving. So we obviously understand that it's going to take a lot of time and effort and energy. Obviously from source, it's going to be flow, it's going to be fun, but we just want this to be a win-win, help us help you system. So we've decided that as a minimum, we build a business with you, and we'll handle everything from literally down to what the word should say, to how I should market, to what's happening here, to what the graphics should look like, to how the steps work. Everything. We're going to make sure that it comes to actualization, because we're actually going to have real equity with you. We're going to ask for 10% as a minimum of equity if you choose to build businesses with us, because we want to be a part of your dream and your vision. And we're not only going to help you build it, we're going to help you sustain it for the long term, because we're invested in it. We're not just going to let something, it's like, if I own the plant, I'm not just going to now it's someone else's problem now. No, I still need to care and nurture. And so that's going to be kind of that commitment that holds us all together in the future. And something to build up towards that. We're also creating something really unique. It's a unique token that we're going to use to reward people for their support and their efforts. So say if you do something really, really nice for the Serenity Project out of turn, we didn't even ask you, or you just will go ahead and do something, create something, you will be rewarded with Serenity tokens. And these are a unique token that is basically, it's currency. And that's what we're basing it on, because currency, when you look at it, currency is currency as soon as you give value to something. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you things that you can purchase with your Serenity tokens right off the top. So it'll be valuable towards you guys. So you're going to have our own currency, and you'll be able to purchase different divine items in the shop. And future programs, you might be able to get a super crazy discount by using some of your tokens. And so they're going to be extremely valuable and useful. It's not just going to be this throwaway type of thing like that, but it's a way for us to kind of keep that communication and e-commerce and trade and everything, because we still need a means to keep things quote unquote fair until we're all on par. Then we can have then we'll probably go through a little bit more of a decision of how things get moved around and decided that way, right? But until that point, we do need to have some sort of system in place, because people do not do anything for nothing. It just doesn't even make sense in their mind. They could have literally YouTube, the internet has all the answers that everyone can ever want, but why isn't everyone Einstein right now? Yeah. There's got to be skin in the game. And so I've kind of fabricated this so it doesn't have to be like this huge money thing or whatever, blah, blah, blah. We want to be able to support anyone wherever they're at, but this is a way that we've decided, and it feels just really cool. If anyone has any thoughts on it at the end, we're going to open up the floor. But Jeremy, or did you want to open up the floor and then end with the bedtime story?
Yeah. Let's see. Pretty much, yeah. We want to help you build the businesses that is of your dreams. We want to be the hub, the go-to for everything that is good.
And I'll leave this for people, because Esteban, if you want to hop out right now, brother, I'd really like to know what it is you like. If you could really source it down, I know it's a tough question. If you could source it down, life into one word, one topic, one type of thing, what is it that you like? And you can start to just write a lot of that down onto the page. And when you write it down and you start getting clear on what it is you like, you start to formulate different ideas of how you could take what you like and make that purposeful and meaningful to others. And if you make it purposeful and meaningful to others, you've just created your dream life now. You're going to be doing something that you love, and people are going to be giving you value for it. Maybe it's US currency, maybe it's Serenity tokens, maybe it's Bitcoin, Litecoin, whatever types of things we do trade and commerce. You will be valuable. So it doesn't matter what the money does. It doesn't matter what goes around. You have skills. You're internally very valuable. And that's what we're doing, that on an energetic level. And then we're going to do that in a business level. And so it's going to be full, everything all around. And we started with emotion and energetic because nothing else works out of that. But the grander goal is for everyone to have whatever they want, and to be able to have financial freedom and independence, which means that no one person can tell you what to do in a day. It's your decision. That's what financial independence means. And if you choose to go to work, that's your choice. If you choose to go donate, if you choose to go serve, if you choose to go whatever, you're doing it from your choice. So you could end up being a philanthropist that works at Shoppers, but it was your choice. Like, you know, that's the difference. Whereas someone, when they feel like it's not their choice, totally different vibration like that. But anyways, that maybe we talked a little long, but hopefully
that's beautiful. That's exactly right.
All
Let
right.
that throat chakra fly, baby.
Boom. Okay. Yeah. And Esteban, Nanette, would you like to share with us give you the floor if you want to, if you have a question, maybe you have something to add, by all means, this is your moment. We're going to just.
Your time.
Very interesting. Silence. Very useful. Hopefully you're being present with that. There's
no.
There we go. Good. Hey, that just shows that we've done our job.
Oh. Hi.
Hi. What's up, Esteban?
I was thinking maybe you could share what you are really good at, and I could share with you. I'd like to. I feel attracted towards tantra and yeah, and writing. Yeah.
Man, Esteban, you are everyone is unique, but you are the mostest of a flavor of uniqueness that I've ever experienced. And that's why I just know that it is going to be tantra. It is going to be writing. It's most likely going to be healing and serving on a very, very massive level. But yeah, man, I think you're going to bring something that no one's ever seen before. And that way it might be something where I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly what it is, but yeah, it'll have something to do with writing, man. I think you're very, I always feel this artist vibe with you, very artist, where it's like you're going to create something that everyone wished they created. They're like, oh my God, he did it. I've been thinking about it, or they have the tip of the tongue, but then they never actualize it because it was coming from you. But yeah, brother.
Well, personally, from a little bit of work that I've done with Esteban, I've learned, you know, he's wanting to learn martial arts, and he cares very deeply for like children and dance. And so I can see whenever we've built our Llama Space community centers that he's going to be like over the youth program, and he's going to be teaching them just every form of, what is that? Of that art, you know, just dance.
Yeah, like energetic dance.
Stuff like just that whole, just that artistic side.
That's beautiful.
How's that sound, Esteban? Is that close to what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Well, that's what we're going to work on. And so we're going to build, and we're going to do, and we're going to teach you one-on-one those things that it takes. You know, I'm whatever. It's not about
I'm just spitballing. But me and Jeremy, we fly down for the first initial, like, it's like in a Zumba room, but it's freaking Esteban's tantra infused energetic dance cleansing, you know, or whatever. There's your title or whatever. And we do a big blast, and the rest of the Serenity Project, everyone comes around, people in the community, we come there, and I leave there, and I basically have this testimonial of, like, it wasn't until I actually did movements with dance that I actually get that big creative idea that launched my business into, like, superstardom. And, like, those are the types of things that come out of very creative stuff like that, because it's just letting people express and flow into it and stuff. And then if you build it, everyone will come. If you build it because you love it and you enjoy it, everyone will come. It's just so. It's just when we try and figure out what other people like and we build that, no one comes through those doors. Because it's the uniqueness inside of you that everyone's waiting for. They're not waiting for you to become another Google, Walmart, Facebook, whatever type of thing. That's already done, you know. But what we're waiting for is you.
Yeah. So that's a perfect example. So we're going to combine a couple talents and a couple passions. We're going to unify it and invest in it and put our energy and time in it. And before long, it's going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And then we're going to partner with that. And then you're going to come along and you're going to have permission. Hey, I really like writing or Reiki, and then YouTube. And then I want to put that together. And then I really like this. And I like this. And then boom. So it all depends. All of this is coming from what do you want? This is the clarity. This is what we've tried to get you out of suffering enough to start asking these questions. And when you ask these questions, then we can go in directions. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Ah, man, life is good.
That's amazing. Nanette said, my third eye is opening more. I had a weird experience giving a massage today, and I was zoning out and seeing colors and shapes, and even the person turned black and white, but saw colors and shapes around. I wasn't even doing Reiki, just regular massage.
Yeah, that's because you have been having it built within you the whole time.
Mm.
Reiki is just an expression of who and what you are as an energy worker, as an energy being, as just pure love. Every time I touch Amber, just like, on her leg or on her arm, she's like, oh, because that is how I roll. Anybody I touch is just instantly healed because that's what I say. Mm-hmm. If you can, and are you that bold? Ooh, did that just trigger you? Oh, you're not allowed to do that. Says who? The Christ said, I came to show you that you can do all these things and more. The Serenity Project is the teachers of the and more. Mm-hmm. That's what we are. Bold face, point blank. We're all a lot more than just humans, People, we're just pilgrims passing by. This is just our place of training and practice so that we can rule as kings and queens over the cosmos. That's what this is all about. But until we stop hating on ourselves, then we stop hating on others for being a little bit different, we're never getting off this rock. And I will not stop coming to this rock trying to tell you this in all sorts of different fancy ways and easy ways and old ways and new ways and put together ways and divine ways and low ways to get you there. I got to hit you in the heart somewhere, somehow, eventually. And that's what we do for everybody. And that's what we're going to teach you to do for others. And then bada bing, bada boom. It's right there. And then you're going to be like dancing around in circles with each other and just, you can't believe it. Oh my God, this is all true. Miracles are real. Oh my God. Can you feel that? Can you feel that? It's real. It's true. And it's coming to a heart near you.
Well, that's a great conclusion, and I think everyone is filled right up. And that amazing. You're on par, if not ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
know that. And everyone else that checks this out, I'm so thankful that you got to receive this and do this, and now it's yours to play around with. So enjoy.
It's yours. If you decide to practice it, then you'll have and receive everything that you've ever desired. It's simple as that. I listened to a bunch of stuff on YouTube and stuff, but until I spent over 10,000 hours in a bathtub, nothing ever happened. It's just advice. Mm-hmm. Do these things physically, mentally, and see, eventually, once you get good at the 7 steps, it becomes only 1 step. I just go instantly. I close my eyes, I do all this stuff, and I'm right there with Source. And I'm like, hi, love you, what's next? And it is better than any drug, better than any relationship, better than any feeling. This is where it's at. This is what we were created to be. So I'm opening up the floor one more time to anybody. Anybody, Brody, anything? And then I'm going to share a bedtime story.
Right. No, I'm speechless now. I'm ready. I'm ready to hear the story.
Okay, I'm going to do the best I can. This is about a 5-minute clarity in the bathtub. I was writing it over the bathtub, just wetting all the pages. It's all wrinkly and stuff. So this is what I said. Write it down. And I hope this touches your heart to show you, maybe this will give you a little bit of inspiration to what we're talking about. Let me show you what it looks like for me. So here we go. Once upon a time, there was a hurt man living in a hurt land. Everyone was so hurt, all they ever could do was work, hurt, work. It had went on so long, no one even pretended that they were strong. Until one day, the hurt man's heart gave way. And he said, he won't live like this for one more day. There has to be something to make this go away. So he locked himself in a bathtub and tried to drown the pain away. Then one day, the clouds went away, the heavens opened up, and he heard from the tub, come up here, where there is no fear, and we'll teach you the ways that will save all the slaves. There will be none that we reject, and let's give it a lovely name, like the Serenity Project. And we'll even make it in 7 easy steps. So go and share, we'll promise they'll care. So have no fear, we will always be near. So take this ark and steer them clear, because everything is already perfect, my dear. So since that day, the miracles have been on the way. Paradise is clear, and the hurt is in our rearview mirror. So jump on board the Spirit of the Lord, and we will travel in one accord, and we will all enter the promised land, hand in hand, for this is the intended plan. I don't know about you, but I know we could use a miracle or two. So the moral of the story is, no matter how much you hurt, give God all the glory. Don't give up hope. Just jump on the boat, and we'll all get there one day. So let's not hurt. Let's not fight. Everyone you see will see the light. So instead, let's play along the way, and then we can all enjoy the stay. And together, forever, in love, no matter what comes our way, we'll know how to make it through, because now we know the way. Namaste. So that, I was in the bathtub underwater, and I just had to blast out, and I wrote that. That's how clarity works. So that's what we said. Just write it down, please. You could create an organic divine organization that saves the entire planet if you just can see the way. And then when you're clear and you're able to hear, then, and here's a couple little inspirations that I have to wrap everything up. Only when you break can the true you begin to awake. And so then that will help you understand the brokenness and the pain and the struggle that you've had to go through. But you know where you're going so that you can make it through. And we don't come as a group, as a community, as an organization, as an anything, to come to destroy the corrupt system. But we have came to re-employ the system with light and love. And even if they lose their jobs or their whatever, the system, the new system, will be so good that even they're taken care of, so that we all win. And see, that is where that one intuition and that one aspiration that we were talking about in the beginning, and this is where I'll wrap up, is what's best for you is best for everyone. That's why. That's why you love yourself. That's why you take care of yourself. That's why you fill your cup up, is so that you can be the lighthouse and the hope that shines for the world to see. You are the light at the end of the tunnel, and we are helping you grow your wings. Together we'll make it, and we won't make it until we're together.
That's beautiful, bro. Catch
A
you on
little
the.
bit of clarity, a little bit of hope goes a long ways. I hope this blesses you guys. And I'm going to make a blessing for you guys. I'm going to create a blessing for you guys, that your hearts and your minds will be open and renewed and repaired and reconnected, that your passions and that your purpose will be made unified and be made whole and be made visible and be made possible, that your doubts will be removed and that your disbeliefs are put on the back burner, that your spirit will renew your mind and heal your body, and that you will be delivered from all things that are not of God's good will and good purpose for you. Because all things work together for good for those who love the Lord. And that is what I pray and create and intend and put on you. A blessing of love and of light and of clarity and of divine guidance and your own personal bliss, so that then you may share it with the rest of us. We love you. Thank you for being here. Many blessings. Everything that you need is just right over there. We'll lift you up. We'll help you get there. Simple as that.
Namaste.
Namaste.